He's a humanitarian, a performer, but wow, what a voice. Born in Africa, he grew up in Greece, and he's here with us now preparing for his concert this Saturday at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium. In a moment, or right now, we're ready to start our conversation with Mario Frangoulis. Thank you for being here, Mario.
Thank you for having me.
This is a very special time. Normally we're in the BBC, but we've taken this time to talk with you and learn more about you and talk about your upcoming concert. Now, I mentioned you were born in Africa and then as a young child you moved to Greece. How did that... Tell me about that transition.
I was born in Africa during a very difficult time in political history, and of course the apartheid was beginning to appear, and of course for us it was very difficult to handle our lives in Rhodesia, when it was then Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, today Zimbabwe. And we left Greece when I was 4 years
left Africa
when I was 4 years old, and lived in Greece ever since, since I was 4.
And so you still call Greece your home?
Greece is my home. Africa is still my home. I have fond memories, even though I was very small. I left very small when I was very young.
And have you been back there since?
Only once. Only once. I did a concert at the Sun City in Johannesburg, but I haven't really been back home to see my family and my father's brother and sister and cousins.
All the sibling or the extended family?
Yes.
Let me invite our listeners, if you'd like to call in and ask a question. Our number is 866-367-5827. That's 866-367-5827 if you have a question for Mario, or if you're planning to attend the concert this Saturday and you would like to ask him something before the concert, give us a call. We'll try and get your call on air. This is concert that he'll be performing is a benefit concert for KVCR. So living in Greece, you moved to Greece when you were about 4. And then were there until you went off to London. But tell me about your time growing up in Greece. Was music right there in your... Did you learn to love music at a very early age, or when did you start? When were you exposed to it?
I started at the age of 6 when I went to the Athens Conservatorium to study violin. So, of course, that was my first connection to music. Which, of course, makes me a much better singer because I see things from inside out rather than the other way around. And I'm very happy every time I sing a song to sing certain musical phrases almost like it's an instrument, almost like it's a violin that I've learned very well. I try to be as academic as I possibly can. But, of course, then, when your audience is there, then you allow yourself to be free and be yourself. So... up to a certain extent, I'm a musician, but then I become Mario on stage.
Now, why the violin? Was that your aunt involved with pushing you to the violin, or why?
Yes, you're right. My aunt, my mother's sister, raised me since I was 4.
Aunt Lula?
Aunt Lula. My mother went back to Africa with my brother and father, and I remained in Athens, where I went to the conservatorium. I loved all sorts of music. I listened to everything from rock and roll to easy listening music, from let's say from Freddie Mercury to Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire and the musicals, to Greek music, Greek traditional music, to, of course, a lot of the great classics. And so I had a very varied kind of sensation in my mind and in my upbringing. And, of course, my great vision was to be an actor. That was my number one dream, as a child. So I was singing with in front of an audience. I was the clown of the family, kind of entertaining everyone in my family. So
you like to perform from an early age?
Definitely.
You're definitely a ham.
I would say yes, I'm definitely a ham. Since I was 7 or 8 years old, I discovered that you can actually influence people's lives by taking center stage, and I didn't feel uncomfortable doing that. Of course, now I realize that taking stage has a lot more responsibility in so many ways. Of course, also with the audiences and the messages that you try to put across through your music and through your stage performances.
If you just joined us, we're speaking with tenor Mario Frangoulis, or we like to say Greek tenor around here. Mario Frangoulis, who's in the studio with us and will be performing a benefit concert for KVCR on Saturday, May 11th at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium. Excuse me. You grew up there, you started studying, but then you went off in your teens to London. Is that when you were still on stage?
Yes. Well, I started. What gave me the initiative was I started. We had a fantastic drama teacher in Greece, who her name is Heather Attard, and she encouraged me. She said, "You are an actor. You have to be an actor. We have to apply to some of the drama schools." So I applied. At the Royal Opera, at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, Webber Douglas, some of the best drama schools in London. And I went to London, I auditioned in all of them. I was accepted by all of them. I was very happy
congratulations.
about that. Thank you. It was a different, I overstudied, I think.
Really? Is there such a thing?
Well, there is. When I was auditioning, I had to prove to people that I couldn't just be as good as someone who is English. I had to be better than someone who is British.
I see.
Because I came from Greece with an accent, and speaking Shakespeare with a Greek accent is not exactly the best thing, and especially for drama school. So my favorite school was the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, because that's where the Royal Shakespeare Company is. The base of the Royal Shakespeare Company is there at the Barbican Centre, and I had a chance of seeing some of the greatest performances, of being involved with students who cared very much about their work and cared very much about the theatre world and the arts, and of course that was my first dream come true.
So, but you were an actor who could then sing.
Yes.
Right? So that had to bring a lot. And then, if I can say, so very good looking, that allowed you, I would think, so much more opportunities, did it?
Thank you. Yes, it did. In fact, I was happy because, it is a special talent to be able to sing.
Awesome.
And if you can act and sing, even better for me in any case, because I think it makes you a better singer to have the ability to act. Because each song for me is like a little story with a beginning, middle, and an end, almost like a theater play. And sometimes you have, someone's most important words to say about life, about friendship, about people, just within one small song, which lasts for 3 minutes.
Right.
In 3 minutes, you have to tell a whole story. So that's what music did for me, and I was lucky enough because my first audition was Les Miserables at the Palace Theatre in London. I auditioned just like anyone else with my little number, and I got the part of Marius, the romantic lead. So that was my first musical theatre show straight out of drama school.
Well, who didn't see that coming? We'll continue our conversation in just a minute, right after this break, encouraging you to give us a call if you have a question. Our number is 866-367-5827. If you have a question for Mario Frangoulis, our guest is tenor Mario Frangoulis, who will perform for a benefit concert for KVCR on May 11th. We'll be right back.
Once in your life you wished you were someone else. If once in your life you thought there was no way out. If once in your life you like to save yourself, realize somehow there are beautiful things.
That's the voice of our guest, Greek tenor Mario Frangoulis, in singing Beautiful Things. Mario, I want to go back just before we took that break and ask you a little bit about the role in Les Miserables, playing Marius. How was that for you?
It was great. I think that's, in a sense, for me, it was a real test that, that you learn how to have stamina. When you're performing 8 shows a week, that's the real test for someone who is on stage. Because it's much easier to do a concert once every 3 or 4 days, but it's a different story if you're performing 8 times a week. Sometimes with difficult circumstances, people fall ill during the performance, or you play with the understudies, or
right.
Someone comes in, a new member of the cast, and you're rehearsing and you're performing at the same time. So it was a great experience for me. It gave me what I call my feet in the business. And Marius, of course, is such a beautiful role, very romantic, very much a believer of friendship and love of his country. And of course, coming from Greece, I am Greek. I'm proud to be Greek, and I carry Greece inside of me wherever I go. So the part was, I think. Funnily enough, I think it was ideal for me to play the role.
And so would you ever entertain the idea of going back on stage and doing, not necessarily that role, but going back on stage and performing? And not just concerts?
Yes, of course, I've thought about it.
In case any producers are listening right now, you know.
I'm here. I'll audition for you.
Oh, beautiful. All right. Now, you studied at Juilliard, right?
Yes, also.
How was that experience when you left London and then went to New York?
Completely different in so many ways, Lillian. I think Juilliard School, of course, was also another dream come true. When I went to the Juilliard, I had a teacher called Dodi Protero, who was an amazing voice teacher. So straight after my European training and having met Alfredo Kraus, of course, in Europe and studied with him for a while, going to New York and studying in a serious school as Juilliard, music school, where I was focusing all my energies as a singer now, having won the Maria Callas Scholarship, the Onassis Scholarship, that were sustaining my life, because otherwise I would not be able to afford living in New York.
I wondered about that, yeah.
And once again, I became a student. I love the idea of learning and education. I think it's very important to know about your craft, and therefore I embarked on a different road, in a sense, trying to be a student.
To learn more.
To learn about the voice, the diaphragm, the positioning of the voice, how to place the high notes, how to place the middle part of my voice.
In essence, to make you a better artist.
Yes. Well, yes.
Okay, our number is 866-367-5827, 866-367-5827. We're speaking with Greek tenor Mario Frangoulis, who will perform here in Southern California on this Saturday. So I want to go on and ask, I know I asked you in a television interview we did some years back, and so I just want you to share it with our listening audience, our radio audience, that you performed for Princess Diana. Did you have the opportunity to speak with her?
Yes, in fact, I met her. It was a benefit in London with Montserrat Caballé and Samuel Ramy, and it was a benefit concert. It was called Serenade to a Princess, and this was in the presence of Lady Diana. She was a fantastic person, very beautiful. Inside. I mean, I didn't spend too much time with her, but I saw it in her eyes. She was very honest and very sincere, and she loves the arts. And of course, this was a benefit for the Royal Ballet, for Dame Margot Fonteyn, in memory of Dame Margot Fonteyn, for the Royal Ballet in London. And we sang arias from operas, of course. I sang Una furtiva lacrima from L'Elisir d'Amore by Donizetti. And it was a fantastic evening.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that story. We're going to take another break in just a minute, but I wanted to ask you, or just at least mention to you, about the social media. I know you've connected with our KVC Arts, you've connected with our Facebook, and we've connected all over the place, and thank you so much for that. But what role has the social media really played with your fans across the world, and now that medium is there?
I think it connects. It connects people, and people have a place where they feel like this is home for us. We can find information about our favorite artist, and I can find information as to where my fans are as well. Because
that's got to be wonderful.
I know you meet so many people along the way, from so many different journeys and destinations in your career that you wonder sometimes as to where these friends of yours are. So apart from supporting, of course, your work and creating awareness of what you do, your passion for music and all that, I think on a human level it also brings people together and closer in their lives. We feel like we're growing up together, you know,
that's beautiful.
as time goes by.
Well, I hope many of your Facebook friends and fans that you have will join us on Saturday, where Mario will perform at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium on Saturday, May 11th, the Saturday before Mother's Day. Great opportunity. It's if you'd like to purchase tickets or pledge for tickets, you can go to kvcr.org/events, or you can go to Ticketmaster and get tickets there as well.
Già mi manchi anche se sei qui, per un momento ancora mia, un po' di te rimane con me, parte di me tu la porterai via, ed oggi è un giorno splendido perché anche se partirai, ogni minuto, ogni ora lo so che io ti rivedrò, ogni momento, ogni ora è un passo.
That is just a sample of what you'll hear when you join us on Saturday, May 11th at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium. Mario, tell me about that song.
It's one of my favorite songs on Beautiful Things. It's called Un Passo Verso Te, which means a step towards you. It's a beautiful love song and composed by Steve Wood, who actually was the producer of Sometimes I Dream and Follow Your Heart, and now, you know, the third international album, Beautiful Things. And he also co-produced with me the live performance that we performed at the Boston Symphony with Boston Pops.
Right.
And he composed some of my favorite songs, Unite Vincerò Perderò, and also did the orchestrations and produced a lot of my albums, and a great friend. And of course he's written some of the most beautiful ballads, love ballads, and Un Passo Verso Te is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's one of
And you
those.
were just saying that's what you open up the concert with?
Yes.
So that's what you can expect. Literally,
gave it
that's what
away.
you can expect. So let me just say, you've done two PBS specials. You've been on PBS a few times now, and most recently the two PBS specials, Music of the Night, which I have to say is my favorite. It's because I love musicals, so that is I can watch that one over and over and over again. Somewhere in Mano La Mancha, I love those two.
Thank you.
But now, most recently, you've done Live with the Boston Pops. That's currently airing throughout the United States on PBS stations. And in that is where you brought in Beautiful Things.
Yes.
So let's talk about that CD and some of the collaboration that went on with Beautiful Things.
Okay. Actually, this is the third PBS
is it third?
special.
I'm sorry, my bad. My research.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good because it shows you how many years we have been connected, and I'm very, very grateful to KVCR and to public television in general because. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for KVCR, because it makes artists such as myself approachable to a very big audience, and where people cannot afford to go to the opera, for example, or pay a very expensive ticket. It's right there at the in front
the comfort of their own home.
In the comfort of their own home, and. People who have not discovered me, they have the right to discover someone like myself, and I discover them, my audiences through such an amazing way, through the family of public television.
Now, this public television special, Live with the Boston Pops, what was that experience like, performing with Keith Lockhart?
Well, it was. What can I say? Fantastic, because it's one of those amazing orchestras. It's probably one of the top 5 pops orchestras in the world, the Boston Pops. And Keith Lockhart is so engaged with his music and so welcoming to all the artists, and very, very worldly and very knowledgeable, and in so many ways, not only American or Canadian, but also European in his sense, in the way he feels music. You know, he loves artists, and
So that worked well for the both
worked
of you.
very well. And of course, we were performing Beautiful Things, and Beautiful Things is one of my favorite albums. And
By Stefan Macchio.
yes, and songs, of course, by Stefan Mocchio, talking about life and about the beauty in life, the things that we should not really be taking for granted, like a beautiful flower, or our friendship, or the feeling that we have between us, or the fact that we, whatever our religious beliefs might be, there's one God, there's one people, and we all feel the same, and we hurt when they hurt us, and we laugh when they
Sure. When it's funny, we
when it's
laugh,
funny.
and we all cry the same, is what you're saying. yeah.
Exactly. We're human beings, and I think Beautiful Things encompasses all those amazing messages.
Well, let's talk now about the concert. Your concert is this Saturday at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium. In this last couple of minutes that we have together, share what our audience can expect at that beautiful concert.
Well, we have some great performers performing with us as well. Martin Zarzar from the Pink Martini
very good.
will be playing the drums, and he's performing 2 songs from his new album. And also George Paris,
Who was in the Live with the Boston Pops special.
who was also in the live with the Boston Pops, and he's a great talent, and a young up-and-coming performer in his own way. He's actually in LA recording his new international album, his English-speaking album, and he will be singing together. We will be singing together, for example, Maria by Franco Sartori, and have some fun, you know, with all our musicians. All our musicians are there. Don't expect a huge, big orchestra, but expect to
expect
laugh
you on
and dance
stage.
and enjoy a great concert.
Expect you on stage with your dynamic voice. Mario, thank you so much.
Thank
If you'd
you.
like to be at the concert, it's Saturday, May 11th. Showtime is 8 p.m. Tickets are at kvcr.org or go to Ticketmaster. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Mario.
you.
Mario. Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you so much.
Traveler on the great divide, vagrant on